Subscribe now.
Today, my goal is to make a yarn bowl. Last couple projects I've done bowl-wise was intended to make a yarn bowl. However, both of them had either issues or unforeseen things that kept me from making a yarn bowl out of it. The last one I did was a really nice piece of walnut, and it had some of the best figure I've ever seen in a bowl. So I couldn't get myself to cut a slot in the side of it. So that one just became a really pretty bowl. This one, however, is a piece of silver maple that I have out in my yard. It's been cut down now, I'd say, for a good couple months, so it's still wet. But after I just split it, I had some issues with my chainsaw, so the cuts that I made wasn't real clean. Obviously you can see, but I was able to see that we've got some spalting going on here, so that makes me think that this is going to be attractive by the time I'm done with it. I was going to drill a hole and mount this on a worm screw against my chuck. However, with the unevenness of this surface, and I can't get this through my bandsaw like this, it's too tall. So I decided we're going to strip the bark off, and I'm going to go in from this side. I don't know if we'll end up making this a live edge or not yet. We'll see, but that could introduce the possibility of this being a rejected yarn bowl as well. Just seeing what we've got left over. If the sides aren't quite enough to make it a yarn bowl, then we'll punt that project again. You know, that's just the way things go. But as of right now, I'm just trying to remove this bark. Definitely some spalting going on, or some ambrosia or something in this maple. So that could be cool. Now we need to designate what'll be pretty much center. We've got some steeper or some slopier angles on this side and some steeper angles on this side. So that'll push the center this way a little bit. What I'm going to do is use these dividers here to get us a good idea. So the high spots here and here, and then the low spot over here and through this side. If the bowl stands that tall, well, then we're going to have a nice curve on this side, which wouldn't bother me necessarily on a normal bowl. That could look cool, but a yarn bowl has taken away spots in which I could make the slot for the yarn. However, since we have these tall spots, it may be all right. There's going to be some figure over here, it looks like. Let's do that. See what happens. I don't know. Worst thing that could happen is we make a cool bowl that we don't want to make into a yarn bowl and do it all over again. Okay. Let's see how slow we got to turn this thing. Looks like 250 is all we're going to get out of it right now. All right, start working on it. plate on it. Didn't want to do this originally just because we didn't have a real flat area here, but that's probably the same thing that happened to the wood screw. There's a little bit of wobble in it. That's just enough to let it move back and forth and strip out that hole. So I put in my 2 screws on the high points, so I make sure I have at least 2 really good anchor points, and these will go down far enough to anchor in down there. Trying to do here, get this big mass out of here, and then I'll start rounding off the edges. But I get this big carbide in here. It's my longest tool that I have, so it'll give me some leverage to make a little bit better cuts. I think the rest of this will get easier when I can turn the speed up, so let's focus on getting this thing round. So we're going to turn it back here a little bit. Have a think real quick. Some of that figure coming in. Luckily that's just the start of it, I think. There's this ball over here that's a knot or maybe a tiny burl or something. So that's just the start of it, which is good because I'm going to have to turn quite a bit of that away because I don't want an open side on this bowl. We just gotta keep going. know where we're going. Splits, still got a little bit in there, mostly gone. I'm going to be taking a big portion of this edge away, pull in. It's got at least a side on the bowl now. Not very big one, but there's a side on the bowl. Okay, let's focus on the foot now. We got that. Gouge in there. Give ourselves a little shoulder to sit on. Slightest of dovetails. That looks good. Okay, now we can shape a bowl. All right, we're getting somewhere. Okay, this thing's starting to look like a bowl, folks. A little bit of junk in there, which could be concerning. Lily putt coming, which may be exactly what that needs. Should be here. Well, it's not going to be here anytime soon, but we have to put this project on the back burner for a couple days, so be it. Next thing I need to start worrying about, which I probably should have already been worrying about, but it's these raggedy edges here, because I was doing these push cuts. As you're pushing up through the edge, you get that tear out. So I need to make a couple cuts coming back in to eliminate that issue. that's level. These are pointing in quite a bit. Well, but slightly. I'll say slightly. So the curve comes around, which I like. I've always liked that look. So now my thought process is, do I want to accentuate that a little bit more? Give one more cut and angle it up this direction. Rotating at the hip. The end of it, not too bad though. That'll clean up. Okay, so now let's do the foot. Make that foot look pretty. A lot of character in that silver maple. I think for now I'm going to wait for this milli putt to come in. I would leave it, but it's not particularly attractive. It's not an attractive bark inclusion, so to speak. the video for a little while. When we come back, we'll fill this in, finish that off, and then we'll turn this bowl around and start hollowing it out. Then we'll have a go with a coping saw to make our little J-hook cut out for the yarn. This is the first time I've attempted this, so I hope it goes good. You guys are going to learn with me, or you already know and watch me learn, and that could be fun. So stick around, we'll be right back. Colored wool cap. Comes in 2 sticks. So you just have to mix together 2 equal parts. The instructions say that it will completely harden in a few hours. Free to me. We've given this plenty of time to set up. It's been about 6 hours. It's hard. So now we're just going to try to take a couple cuts off, get it smooth. Turning about 1100 RPM. Be all she wrote for the outside. I like it. It's different. It sure is a pretty piece of maple. My goodness. Now ready to hollow this dude out. hard part. So there's the bowl. Got a pretty even thickness. It's about 1/4 of an inch. Like I said, thicker than I was aiming, but just with this live edge and the difficulty I was having with my tools, it is what it is. So now, I think we're going to have to drill, cut the Y over here, the J hook or whatever you want to call it. So I am going to mark it out with a pencil. Kind of sucks doing this upside down. It feels dirty cutting a bowl like this after I've put so much work into it. I think we're going to call it there, with the understanding that we may be back in the future if changes are needed. Let's pull it out. I mean, you know, this is my first go at it. You guys that have done these before, guys and gals, let me know. Let me know what you think. Is that viable? Will that work as a yarn bowl? As far as the bowl is concerned, I really like what we did with the milli putty. I really like the figure in this wood with the Ambrosia sculpting. It's a gorgeous bowl. Absolutely gorgeous. the yarn bowl. I'm going to call it a success until otherwise prompted. So, thanks for watching. I've had fun with this one. I always enjoy trying new things, even though they may not be the best result. I'm holding out hope on this one. I couldn't be happier with the bowl itself. I don't know about the J-hook. I don't know. And I don't know what I don't know, you know? So, until next time, folks, thanks for swinging by and spending some time with me. We'll see you on the next ride.